Our sanctuary sprang to life with the need to rescue puppies from the garbage. And there are always those abandoned on the roads, wandering, starving, and ignored. Rosetta was living uncared for in a cardboard box on the ramparts of the ancient town. Sunny had been abandoned, and we found her nearly dead in a nearby dump. It took her weeks to arouse from unconsciousness, and that was when we found that she was blind. Yet they did recover and settled into a happy life. However, most have suffered such cruelty and neglect that they have been traumatized for life. The hundreds of ticks that covered Bubble when she came had badly damaged her skin. Here, Franck is treating her with a homemade pomade, but it was weeks before she was comfortable. Well fed and lovingly cared for, they grew into absolutely splendid dogs, the pure native shepherds of the Atlas, each one a delight. One by one, more and more distressed dogs and puppies came to us. These 5 babies were left to die by the garbage dump. They were only 3 days old. 2 came on their own, Woof Woof and Lovey. Wild dogs roamed the forest, living on the carcasses of dumped camels and cows. Over a period of time, Woof Woof and Lovey gradually joined our group. And strangely, they have turned out to be our closest house pets. Maybe that's because they appreciate the care the most. But they continue to pursue their wild lives. They are the only dogs of ours who are able to climb over the wall. And Lovey gave us Muggins, one of the brightest lights so far.
You have to love your babies to be dedicated like we are. You know, getting their food, it takes a couple of hours minimum every day. Peeling kilos of potatoes and carrots.
But all our dogs are happy. We had to start supplementing the homemade meals we made with dog food. We found a brand that is naturally sourced without additives, a good one. And dogs are not the only distressed animals. We rescued 3 donkeys from cruel treatment by buying them. So now when Franck goes to the market, he returns with not only dog food, but with hay, straw, and plenty of carrots. Some of the dying dogs we have saved have needed a great deal of medical care. Here, Franck is putting honey on Phoenix's deep wounds. They go all the way to the bone. He was found lying in the street, and people were throwing stones at him. He had lost his fur due to skin parasites. He was ridden with ticks and fleas. He had a broken leg, and he was covered with sores. Phoenix's damaged skin required continuous treatment for a long time, but I'm sure that never in his life had he had such loving care. And he's having a big bowl of meat and couscous, all homemade food. Multiple daily treatments were needed for months to heal Phoenix's deep wounds and to restore enough hope in him to go on. 3 weeks later, the dog is much stronger and he's starting to grow in his fur. You can see it on his neck and back. It's just starting to come back in, and he's put on a lot of weight. It's taken a while. He was close to death. He's able to walk around, but that broken hind leg is still unusable.
It's about 10 weeks after I got him from in the worst possible condition. The saddest eyes you've ever seen. 10 weeks of intensive care.
It was wonderful to see his emerging character as the time passed. He turned out to be a really special one. Another very difficult case we had was Suki. A hole appeared in the side of her head at the base of her ear. It turned out to be full of worms, and they had to be removed. Imagine having 12 of those wriggling around inside your head. Putting betadine in the holes forced the worms to come to the surface for air, and that allowed Franck to see them and get a grip on them with a clamp. Once the worms were removed, the opening slowly healed and Suki's true nature began to emerge. As you can see, she was often bothered by the 2-ball problem, in which you have 2 balls, but it's impossible to pick them both up. As the numbers of animals have increased, looking after them requires more and more work and devotion. Not only are plenty of medical supplies needed, medications, bandaging, and anti-parasitic treatments, but they all need to be vaccinated and sterilized too. This is done not only to prevent them reproducing, of course, but because of the danger of fighting among the males. The mugwumps have grown up into beautiful dogs, but we still have 5 growing puppies needing extra care and attention, for a total of 18 dogs right now. I still rehabilitate birds as well. And the need to rescue dogs, donkeys, and other animals remains. It is impossible to go out without seeing countless abandoned, suffering dogs who need care, who need rescue. And in the past weeks, we have had to refuse several donkeys because our resources are simply stretched too thin. So we are looking for ways to expand, to create more areas for housing, and to acquire a field which would allow us to receive those donkeys in greatest need. To this end, we have put up a funding page in hopes that with crowdfunding, we will be able to do more than we could without help. The link is right below the video. Many thanks for chipping in if you can. We very much appreciate your interest in our work, for it is indeed a work of love. Thank you for watching.